Hello and welcome to the web social trading. If you're watching the recorded version of this, it was held live on Tuesday, the 11th of October at 7:30 in the evening. My name's David Jones and I do these in association with Ayondo Markets. We do this webinar every other week on a Tuesday night, and it's a look at what's social trading all about, what's copy trading, all that sort of thing. We don't spend too much time looking at PowerPoint. We'll actually look on the platform and see if we can find traders who are doing well at the moment and historically, and who could be interesting ones to follow. So there's a bit on PowerPoint like the risk warning, but the rest of it is done actually on the platform looking at real traders. The other webinar that I do every week, the next one is tomorrow, is 12:30 tomorrow lunchtime, and that's a market outlook webinar, and that's looking at sort of levels to look at in the markets, which way the trends are, where the opportunities are. So that's sort of traditional self-directed trading. Clearly there's an awful lot going on at the moment. Just tonight, the pound about an hour ago had slipped, pound US dollar has slipped back to below the 121 level. I think the Dow is off about 250 points. So we're seeing plenty of turmoil in markets over the last couple of days. So tomorrow's webinar at 12:30, that's where we'll look at sort of what's happening in the markets. But tonight we're going to just look at the idea of social and copy trading. Involved in the spread betting and the trading business for about 15 years now, and I've never really looked at the idea of social trading much before this year, because I'm sure you're aware, if you trade in the UK, the two main companies in spread betting and CFDs don't do social trading. So for me, it was never something I would sort of come across in my day-to-day job. But I thought, I had a look at it towards the end of last year and had a bit of a chat with Ayondo about some things we could do together. And I think it's a really interesting addition to your more self-directed trading. The idea behind social trading is straightforward enough. What we're looking at doing is trying to find a trader or a group of traders who have good track records, a sensible balance of profit versus rewards, versus risk, sorry, and looking to automatically mimic their trades on our own account. Don't get me wrong, like anything in trading, it is not a license to print money, but I do think it's an interesting add-on to your own trading. I set up a demo account back in, I think, February, March it was, and it made about 15% in a month, which I thought was incredible, that following a group of 5 traders, but with massive volatility. The P&L was really swinging around. So tonight, when we look at some real traders, you will see some very impressive returns, but I think that does need to be tempered with the level of risk some of these people take. So now I've got an account I use for these webinars that's got about 450 quid in, and another account I use for actually following real traders. I don't have 15% returns every month, but it is positive, but at a much sort of a less volatile sort of month to month and week to week swing. But I'll explain some of this evening, and you can make up your own mind whether it's something that would fit with your trading. So what we're going to do, first of all, so this is a page. I think I'm logged in with one of my accounts on here, but I think you can see that all this stuff is public if you went to the Ayondo website. But so what I've done, I've sorted these traders by popularity, so number of followers. So how it works is, if you have an account with Ayondo, you can just not do any of this copy trading at all and just do normal spread betting or CFDs. But what you can also do, and what these people have done, is choose to be included in the social trading program that they run. And how that works is basically your P&L, your profit and loss, your historical transactions, all your trades are open for people to see. And if people want to, they can follow you. And these guys who are making money trading, or these women as well, of course, both sexes, will, if you follow them and the trades are mimicked on your account, then in effect they get paid a small commission per trade. You pay a slightly wider spread and it goes to them as a commission. So it's in their interests to have people following them, but clearly they're only going to have people following them if they're profitable. And for me, I don't mind paying a slightly wider spread on my follow account if it's going to sit there and churn in sort of steady quarterly profits. But I think if we look at some of the examples tonight, you'll get a feel how it works and how it might work for you. So what I've done, this is a list of top traders on the ayondo platform. Let's just sort of branch it out to everybody, and I've sorted it by followers, number of followers. So at the top we have Mr. Dax. So let's walk through what this information is telling us. So we have Mr. Dax. There's his little avatar thing, badger, I think it is. The R next to the name of Mr. Dax means this person is a real money trader. So on the ayondo platform, it's possible to trade on a demo account and make your trades publicly available. So you could have people following you even though you're not actually trading with real money. Now, me personally, we'll have a look at some of the filters I use in a second, but one of the filters I want is real money trader. If I'm following people with my own real money, I want them trading with real money. So the R next to the name of all these people here, this means they're trading with real money. The star next to the name here means they're a popular trader, and because I've sorted this by followers, this column here, clearly most of these traders are going to have stars next to the name because it's sorted in terms of popularity. So Mr. Dax is the trader. We have these career badges here. They can work through various levels with ayondo in terms of risk management, where they progress down a career path. So for example, Halo84 seems to have reached the top of his career path. He has all his flags lit up, whereas HMP, Stefan Risa, and King down here are just at the start of their trading career. So let's walk through. Risk score is 3. This is something that's done dynamically by ayondo. So it's actually interesting because the risk score, if the risk score suddenly starts to change and maybe increases, it can suggest that the trader is taking on a slightly more riskier strategy. So it can give you an early warning that maybe their track record so far may be about to change. So that's the risk score. You can also sort by risk score. Then, of course, we have the P&L. Now, Mr. Dax has gone a little bit off the boil in recent months. So over the last 6 months, Mr. Dax has lost 8. The maximum drawdown, that's how much of their profit they give up. So if someone makes £1,000 profit, and then their account drops back to £800, and then it goes on to £1,200, their drawdown has been 20%. So it's like a peak to trough drop. So again, it can give you a feeling for how volatile following that particular trader may be. Last is when did they last place a trade. Mr. Dax placed a trade a couple of hours ago. Average number of trades per month. There are lots of people on here who are quite active. There are some who aren't as active as others, but Mr. Dax, 108 trades a month. So what, if you've got 20 trading days in a month, slightly more than 5 a day. Number of followers. And for me, one of the most important things at first glance is this chart. What does their profit and loss chart look like? In an ideal world, I want somebody with a nice, steady profit and loss chart. I don't want somebody who has been losing for 18 months and then suddenly has a brilliant 3 months where they risk everything and make a load of profit. So you can see Mr. Dax had a steady uptrend, a little bit off the boil in recent months, but that's the information it gives us. So maybe a more interesting example that encapsulates more of what we could be looking for is the number 2 most popular person on the platform. Now, Edel Metal, this is one who does come up very regularly. I think we sort of looked at this in depth in one of the first webinars I did with ayondo. So Edel Metal, risk score, higher risk score, so maybe a bit more volatility. But the P&L, so the return over the last 6 months. So I've sorted this by 6 months. You can choose the period you want, but let's say 6 months. We'll stick with that. P&L over the last 6 months has been 31% return, which is, I think, it's a cracking rate of return. 5% a month is in the low interest rate environment in which, of course, most of us find ourselves at the moment. That's a fantastic rate of return. But it's also been done with not a horrible level of drawdown. So maximum drawdown is just over 20%. So that peak to trough drop is only given back about 20% of profits. Last trade 20 minutes ago. Number of trades per month, quite a bit more active than Mr. Dax. So just over 300 trades a month, so slightly more than, what's that, 15 trades a day, isn't there? 15 trades a day. And number of followers. And you can see here a cracking P&L chart. Okay, so nice steady uptrend and the odd drawdown along the way, but seems to just continue to claw its way higher. Now, if we think, well, actually, I'd like to find out a bit more about Mr. Edelmetall and whether I think it's a trader worthy of following. What we can do, if we click on the name, there we go. We'll go and find out a bit more about this particular trader. So, so risk score 7. There we have the P&L performance since registration. So Edelmetall has been registered since, going back to here, December last year. So what's that? About 10 months now. And you can see, imagine if that was a, my background is technical analysis. If that was a share price chart, that's a cracking uptrend. And for me, that's an important thing to look for, is the fact that they seem to have a strategy that does deliver consistent profits. No strategy is going to grow your account every day, not in the long term anyway. There are going to be dips along the way, but what we want is a solid performance. So Edelmetall, performance since registration, 160%, is that, over the last 10 months. So fantastic rate of return. And down here, just as a comparison on the platform, puts the DAX performance over the same sort of period. So pretty flat there. If we scroll down, we can see a bit more information about this person. Winning months, 81% of months have been winners. Winning trades, 95% of trades have ended up being winners. And then just to make sure that the profit isn't just being delivered by one fluky flash in the pan, we can drill down and see what their month-by-month performance looks like. Yeah, someone's just asked a question. A lot of trades open, a lot of open trades. This one does have, I think slightly more than 200 open trades, as you say. They are included in the overall P&L. So it's not just based on closing trades. So you can't have a trader who just closes the winners and then runs loads of losers, which is, is how some, I think, of these social trading platforms have worked in the past, which gives you a completely wrong impression of what someone's P&L looks like. So here's Edelmetall's historical track record. And you can see there are some fantastic months in there. December last year, 21%, 17% in Jan, Feb, 15% in Feb, 11%, off the board a little bit in recent months, but again, still a consistently solid performer. If we scroll down a bit more, you can see the markets traded. Now this one looks like a trader, 84% trades, who is quite focused on the German 30 or the DAX index. So the German 30 is where most of the trades have gone through. Just a few other bits and pieces as well, but it's mainly the DAX this trader is focusing on. And I think there's a lot to be said for focusing on one market. I think there's no right or wrong approach, but I think if you do watch one market day in, day out, you can get a feel for the particular quirks of that individual market. Yeah, we'll see. So that looks like someone who's clearly focused on just the DAX there. And we can scroll down and see a bit more information. You can scroll down and see any open trades they've got. If you want, you can scroll down and see any their most recent closed trades. But for me, the main starting point is really, what does their P&L chart look like? What does it look like historically? So that's over the last since they registered. So look over the last month. What's the last month's P&L look like? Bit more of a bumpier P&L. So up about 8% at one point. Currently up about just under 2% for the month. I'd be very happy with the 2% performance every month, personally. But over the last 3 months, there we go, up about 10% over the last 3 months. Over the last 7 days, up what's that? About 1.8%. So you can really see, okay, well, how have these traders actually performed? So some of the filters, I mean, we've been through some of the filters I look at, and I do want to say, it's not. Traders do go off the boil. There are, a few traders who I started following in the beginning. I followed 5, and there have been 1 or 2 who their historical track record looks brilliant, and then suddenly they just seem to hit a really bad patch. So I think Edelmetall went through one a couple of months ago, the one we're looking at now. So don't think they're going to sit and crunch 8% profits every month. But I think it is one place to start from. Do they have what looks like a sensible, workable strategy? So for me, filters I look at, real money traders. If I am risking my own money, then the very least they can do is trade with their own money as well, whether it's €1,000 or 100,000 euros. I expect them to be trading with real money. So if we broadened our search out here, if we went back to the ranking page, so we've got 222 real money traders there. If we flipped off real money traders. You see you've suddenly got 1,435 real money traders. So there's a whole load of people you can follow. Here, this one here, 264% return over the last 6 months. It's an incredible rate of return, but is not trading with real money. And I would just think, well, if you're that good, why wouldn't you do it with your own real money? Maybe, maybe there's a good reason for it. But again, for me, it seems to be just one big trade has made most of the profit. But for me, so real money is an important one. A smooth historical P&L, like we saw with Edel Metal, and I think there's a few others in there actually. There's this. Where's what's his name gone? Hectorius. He's one who's popped up recently. And OMP trading. There's another one with a nice, relatively steady chart. A nice sort of uptrending chart rather than something that's like this. Something like this just looks to me too crazily volatile. I want something that's got a reasonable trend in it. A healthy P&L drawdown ratio. It's all well and good. Forget about social trading for a minute. Let's say over the last 12 months you made 100% return on your trading account, but along the way you ended up losing 95% of your money before you made it all back and more. That's not a particularly healthy approach, I don't think, to trading. The chances are if someone loses a load along the way, you'll end up not following that trader anymore. So for me, a relatively sensible balance, like this one here, Hectorius, maximum drawdown just under 20% and has made just over 40% profit. So a nice, sensible balance between making money and giving it back along the way. Low volatility, that trader risk score, ideally, a relatively low one there, so we're not having massive swings week to week in the P&L in our account. And the detailed search lets you refine all of these. So let's say we found our trader we want to follow. I do have, I think, some traders I'm following on this account already. Let me just see who they are. I think I've got a few spaces in the portfolio. Okay, we've got Edel Metal in there already. Let's have a look at some more. So let's say, where's he gone? I want to go to my ranking list. Let's look at the ranking list. So what we're going to do now is add people in, so we start following them. So OMP Trading, here we go. He's at the top over the last 6 months. So OMP Trading is one who has cropped up on some of the more recent webinars that I've done, because it seems to be stringing together some consistent months. I think it's a relatively new trader. Let's see, when did this trader register? Okay, so only been trading since May. So what's that, 5 months ago. But you can see, again, in terms of P&L, great P&L, real money trader, trading away, nice trend. So let's say this is one person. I think, well, actually, I want to start copying this person's trades. Assuming I've got my account set up, I just click on follow, and that's it. So there's OMP Trading, it's this person here. So this person has been added in to the traders I'm following on my account. There are 3 from before: Hectorius, Edel Metal, Akel. Let's add one more in as well, just so we've got the full complement of 5. You can follow up to 5 traders. So let's try and find somebody else who's half decent. Real money traders, P&L. Let's see, who have we got with a half decent looking chart? Let's choose. I've got some of these good trenders anyway. Let's have a bit of a left field choice. This one here, which is not a particularly pretty chart. No, not at all. But let's throw that one into the mix. Okay, yes, I'll take them, even though they've just started. Let's take them. Okay, so I've got my 5 traders in my portfolio, so nothing's happening yet. So I've got a live account here. These are in my portfolio, but I've not decided to have it executed on my live account. So what it does now, it says, okay, if you'd been following these people over the last few months, 10 months or so, this is your idealized performance. So if I started following them at the beginning of the year, then I would have made, where are we? Up here. Around about just in excess of 100%, 111% on my account, which is great, of course, but of course, as we all know, we can't go back into history and trade. So if they replicated their performance over the next 10 months, I'd double my account. Wouldn't that be lovely? Let's see what happens. So what I can do now, I've got these 5 people who I'm following, and if I choose to execute on live accounts, basically every trade they do will get replicated on my account. And I have to say that is a bit strange in the beginning. I've been spread betting for 20 years now, and it is weird to see trades going through on your account that you have nothing to do with in the beginning. But what is good about this is you can decide what level of risk you want. So you can start very, very small, which I would recommend. So how we do this, let's go through each of these traders. We'll click on the little settings thing here. So click on settings. So what it does is it asks me to set the order size. This just takes a little bit of explaining, but let's say I was only following one trader. So the only person I was following was Hectorius. If I choose to follow that person one time, what it means is if Hectorius does a trade with a stop loss, that means that trader is risking 3% of their account, risking losing 3% of their account, the same trade in percentage terms will be done on my account. So let's say Hectorius has got a £10,000 account and risks 3%, risks 300 quid. And I've got a £1,000 account, it will do that trade risking 30 quid on my account. So hopefully that makes sense. And I can choose to, if I'm really bullish, set that up to 10 times, up to 10 times. So if Hectorius does a trade where he's risking 2%, then it will be done on my account, but risking 20% of my account. That's not an approach I would recommend. But what you can also do is to go the other way and set it to half. So if Hectorius does a trade where if it turns out wrong, the trader loses 2% of their account, it'll be done at half size on my account, so I'll only lose 1% on my account. So when I first started, because I was sort of finding my way at this, the same as a lot of people, I started off doing half times. But there's actually another level of dilution here, because I'm not following just one trader. I've got 5 traders here. So when you're following 5 traders anyway, the level of risk per trade is automatically dialed down. So if you follow several traders, then your risk is distributed evenly amongst all the traders. With 5 traders in your portfolio, you're following every trader with 1/5. So what that means is, if Hectorius does a trade where the risk is 1% of his account or her account, the risk on my account, because I'm following 4 other traders, is 1/5 of 1%. Does that make sense? You'll see in a minute, you'll see there are some open trades on the account I use for this, and you'll see how small they are. So already there's a level of risk control built in because I'm following more than one trader. There's another level of risk control as well, which we'll come to in a second. But let me just go through all of these and make sure that he's 1.5. That's Edel Metal because he's been doing quite well. So I bumped up the risk, I think, on the last webinar for him. 0.5 for that one because it was quite a new one. OMP's doing well. Let's bump OMP up to 1.5. But of course, I'm actually only going to be following 1/5 of 1.5 because there are 5 of them on my account. And this one is a bit of a wild card. Let's plonk that one right down because we don't have much track record on this one. There we go, confirm settings. So now I've got the traders who I want to follow. I've got my live account set up anyway with some money in it. I think the minimum now that ayondo do is £1,000 in the account to follow people. Execute on live account, click on the button, open trades detected. Now clearly, because these people have been trading on the platform, they do have some open trades. Edel Metal's got 186 open trades, Akal's got 7, OMP Trading's got 1. What it says is, well, do you want to open the same trades they've got already? And I would say, well, no, because if someone bought the DAX when it was 50 points lower than where it is now, if you choose to open that trade, it's not going to get opened at the price from earlier on today. It's going to get opened at wherever the market's trading now. So for me, no, I'm only interested in following future trades, not any existing trades. So I just leave those unticked. So execute portfolio. That's it. It's done. So what it does now, so there we go. So these are some open trades from before, from people I was following before. We'll come to those in a second. But now those 5 traders I'm following, so any new trades they do will be replicated on this account. But I also have an extra level of risk control. You can see there's 478 quid in this account. I can also put on an extra level of risk. Oh no, I don't want to do that. Cancel that. What I can do is loss protection. So I can say, well, my account is X. If my account balance falls below a certain amount, please close all trades. Okay, so you can say, well, if you've got 1,000 quid in your account, and let's say you say, well, if the account falls to, I don't know, 650 quid, close everything. So again, it's an extra level of protection for you if suddenly things did go pear-shaped. If I said, well, 300 quid, if my account drops to 300 quid, start closing all those trades and don't execute any new trades. And that's it. So here are some open positions by this person here. You can see how tiny they are because I'm following this AKL person quite small. 0.002. They're really tiny trades that have been done. So this is on BHP Billiton. So 1280, bought at 1280. There's currently 1239. It's down 7p. You know, so it's a fraction. It's a fraction of a penny, isn't it? So they're tiny positions that have been done. So and I think it's a good way of finding how all this works. You know, you don't need to go all in with massive risk right from the start. Me, you know, it's fairly new to you, social trading. You know, you want to get a feel for how it works and whether it can be consistently profitable. So you can trade at a level of risk that suits you. And if you change your mind altogether, you can just say, well, actually, no, I want to cancel the trades, stop execution now, and you can click deactivate execution. You'll stop following these people, and all your open positions, assuming the market is open, will be closed out for you. And that's really it. You know, I've got quite a leisurely approach to social trading. The other account that I use, the main account, you know, I log in a couple of times a week just to see how things are going. In the beginning, I think like a lot of things, I was sort of checking on it every couple of hours. But really, you know, the way we're looking at this, we're trying to pick our traders, or I'm trying to pick traders, you know, based on their 6-month, 9-month, 12-month performance. So it's a bit futile to sit there and sort of look every couple of hours as to how things are going. You know, I've sort of booted off a couple of traders, swapped them out after sort of 3 months or so because they went off the boil. But people like Edel Natal, I've still got in my other account, you know, because that person has been a solid performer. So instead of you trying to pick the trades yourself, you know, and be like the Wayne Rooney, you're trying to be whoever the England manager is. It was a bad example for me to use because I'm not good at football. You're trying to be the manager of a team of strong traders, rather than just, you know, picking all the trades yourselves. And that's it, really. So someone said, can I fund a new account in a currency other than pounds? I'm sure you can. I mean, ayondo is a German company. They're regulated in Germany, they're regulated in the UK, and they have lots of German clients. So I think if you wanted to fund in euros or whatever you wanted to fund in, I'm sure they'd let you do it. I'm using pounds because my account is in pounds because I'm in the UK. But yeah, I think you can fund in whatever you want to. But really, in a nutshell, you know, that is social trading. So I just click on during the day, click on my account, or a couple of times a week, just to see what's going on, what's the open P&L, and what open positions have I got. And it's very easy to track it. And if I decide to think, well, actually, I want to rejig my traders, just click on the ranking list. And I think you can access all of this. You don't need an account. If you want to have a look at this after the webinar, you can click on it and take a look. So for me, it doesn't affect my own trade. You know, I still trade for my own stuff on currencies and indices and shares as much as I ever did. But I think this is it's an interesting add-on, you know, where we're looking to pick a good team of traders. And for me, you know, if it can sit there and crunch out, you know, even a couple of % every quarter, it's a you know, relatively low stress, hopefully low risk rate of return by picking some good traders in addition to me picking trades myself. You know, ayondo also do normal spread betting and CFDs, so if you want to have an account with them for your own self-directed stuff, you can do that. So when I open my account, I've got a normal spread betting account and a sort of a social trading account. It's very easy to set up. So I wrote a bit about my experiences with all this. If you go to my website, if you go to tradeafter.com, I think there's a couple of pages on there about sort of my early experiences and why I decided to do a bit more of it. And if you go, you can sign up for the other webinars that we do. Clearly, you know, it's all free. So I'm doing this webinar tomorrow. I'll just send you the link now to those of you who are here already. If you go there, I think that should work. Oh, hang on, let me see if I can make it into an actual link. So tomorrow's webinar is looking at the markets in a bit more depth, and there's plenty to look at. But tonight, for the social trading webinar, that's it really. You know, for me, it is all about the filters. You know, trying to drill down and find the good traders out there with a reasonably solid track record who do demonstrate they can make consistent profits with not too much volatility. So I'll start wrapping things up. If you have any questions, drop me an email. My email is david@tradeafter.com. I don't have all the answers, but I'll try and answer them if I can. And you can follow me on Twitter for sort of general market chit chat and charts and all that sort of stuff. There's so much going on at the moment with these crazy markets. So feel free to send it over. But yeah, as I said, then I think the minimum amount for social trading is £1,000. I think is the smallest. But clearly, you can set the stop loss on your account to £750 or something. A level that you're prepared. If the performance drops to that, then all trades are closed. But I think the minimum to open an account is £1,000. But we will wrap things up there. Bang on half an hour almost. That's a good time. To find out more, have a look on my website. Come to all the other webinars that I do with Ayondo, and good luck in your trading. Thanks very much. Goodbye.